putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson. We got tons to talk about. Tons. We do. And here's the thing. I'm going to get to a lot of stuff that points the finger at the FBI. I'm going to give you some information that's going to make you smile through the rest of the holiday season. It's going to make you unbelievably overjoyed at what's going to be happening and coming in the new year, because you know what? We're not going to be seeing much of each other between now and the new year. So I want you to feel good about who you are and what's going to happen in 2018. You're going to hear all kinds of stuff from people. They're going to tell you how bad it is. They're going to try to convince you that Donald Trump's going down, man. He's going down. And you're going to go, whatever. It isn't going to happen. They're going to tell you doom and gloom. That's all there is. The left has one thing to sell. And you know what's cool about this? Yeah, I will make you feel good. Go ahead. You can start smiling now. You don't buy it anymore. They tell you it's going to hurt the women and the children and black people and illegals. And you know those dogs you see on the commercials for the SPCA, them too. And you're going to go, okay, fine. You don't even care. Good for you. What did I tell you? We had a lesson a while back, and I told you, you have to learn not to care. So I'll give you an example. In my own life, I had an issue with my oldest son. You know, divorced, and my son believes his mother walks on water. I've never said a negative thing about her to him. Never. He called me one time, told me, my mom. And I said, hold it. I go, me and your mom might have had problems, but I'm not going to turn you. You think I'm going to jump on your side? We talked through it, you know, thought everything was cool, because he was like, wow, my dad didn't take the bait. No, I told him, you know what? You're going to respect your mom. She may even be wrong this time, for all I know, but you guys need to talk it through, blah, blah, blah. That was the way I handled it. And we still have issues because he's now forgotten that lesson, and he's mad. We were talking the other day. He's mad. You know, oh, you did this to us. You did that to that, blah, blah, blah. He actually said, get this. He says, you didn't pay your child support. And I said, what? Complete lie. I said, let me tell you something. The way your mother felt about me, if I didn't pay my child support, I'd be in jail. And I said, just for the record, I have every record of every payment I've ever made for you guys, child support. Have it right here. I said, have the court order that my child support is over. So unless you got something else to tell me, you better go check and see who's lying. But see, that's what happens. People get a little bit of information and it's wrong. But he believes that it's his mom, that, you know, she's right, no matter what she says. And you know what? Chalk it up to experience. Hasn't been in enough relationships, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to be mad at that. But what I will say is, when you grow up, here's what you do learn. You learn there are two sides to every story, as they say, and then there's the truth. Now, he's got one side. He doesn't even have the second side, so he can evaluate it and go, well, here's the truth. Now, a little bit of dirty laundry for me. Just to let you know, folks, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. But what I'm trying to make the point of is this. Dealing with my son in this issue is the way you deal with leftists. They have one side of the story. They don't want the second side of the story. The left, that one side is comfortable. Because, as is the case with my son, if he finds out reality, it's going to force him to think differently about his mother. Now, I'm not going to do that for him, other than to say, here's a factoid you might want to look up, because it is a matter of public record that I paid 100% of my child support. And if you think back a little bit further, I did much better than that. Long story, but I did. Completely did. So that's the problem. Leftism and deranged thinking in general doesn't want to look at another situation. It doesn't want to look at the possibilities. The biggest growth that ever occurred for me was when I stopped believing that just what I say is the way the world thinks. I've told you guys this story. I thought everybody was a warrior. I thought everybody was prepared to go to battle. They're not. So you have to understand, why not? Because if you don't, you think you're out here with a bunch of warriors, and you're not. You're with a bunch of people who are ready to leave you on a moment's notice. That's what the Republicans are. Most of the Republicans they are so sanctimonious. They're waiting for the tide to turn against you, so they can go, oh, see, I told you about that kid. It reminds me of the movie Wall Street, where Charlie Sheen is the guy tells him, you better get off your butt. You're not doing very good. Then Charlie Sheen bags the elephant, Gordon Gekko, and the guy comes back and says, I told you that. I knew you were going to be a great catch one day. I forget what he played, who Charlie Sheen played. And so then he goes down, and the guy goes, oh, I knew there was something about you. Well, which is it? Which is it? So that's the left. It's doom and gloom. They're going to get after you. They're going to be as fickle and as whimsical as you can possibly imagine. And it doesn't matter what comes up. They're going to try to convince you the sky's falling and it's time for you to switch. So net neutrality, I'll use that as an example. They said it was going to kill the internet. And the very next day, your internet was the same. But the Fed taking complete control of the internet was supposed to be a good thing, right? Because it works out so well in everything else, like healthcare, like the post office. Tell me where it works out great. No offense against our military, but if we had a privatized version of the military, it would be 5 times more efficient, and it would be at 10 times less cost. That's the truth. I sold parts to the military for decades. Well, for a better part of a decade. And I will tell you, the stuff that we had to jump through hoops because they said it had to be this or mil spec and all these different things was a waste of money. It was a fraud. It was for testing agencies to make money and things like this. It was crazy, but that was the way it was worked. That's how it worked. That was how they buried money. So the Fed does nothing well. They don't do housing and urban development. They don't do schools. You like Fed schools? Who do you think are the best students? One's going to public universities or one's going to private universities? I jokingly say all the time, who's going to win the next spelling bee? It's going to be a public school student or it's going to be a homeschooler. But the Fed will have you believe if you homeschool, you're stupid. Those kids are stupid. There are a bunch of them who are. But there are a bunch of them who are unbelievably bright. I would compare homeschoolers to the government-sanctioned schools any day of the week. Any day of the week. But the government will beat you down. Oh, homeschooling. Ted Cruz just did a whole thing on, they wanted to take money from homeschoolers. They didn't want to let homeschoolers have the college education plans, the 529 plans, or you can save for college education. Seriously. Look at the record of the public school system and tell me you want a school system where 30% of the kids drop out, 50% of minorities drop out, and you say, oh, that's the system we want to have set up 529 plans. It's unbelievable. Anyway, back to net neutrality. So they give it a cutesy name, net neutrality, because, we all like neutral. If we're like Switzerland, I'm not for anybody. I stand for nothing. I'm just neutral. So the net's neutral. If it's so neutral, why are they all talking about, well, when are we going to figure out how to tax the net? We got to figure out how to get some more revenue. How do we plan the revenue to go here, 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 and here? It's all about revenue, net neutrality. Cute little name. And what's funny, Facebook, who regulates conservatives like Nazis, claims to want net neutrality. I mean, these guys were benefiting from it. Now it's open. It's competitively open again. It's the way the internet started. And oh my gosh. What's going to happen with net when they do this? Nothing happened. What's going to happen when Donald Trump's elected? He's going to be doom and gloom. Oh, no doom and gloom. Oh, net neutrality happened. Oh, no doom and gloom. Oh, the stock market didn't crash. The economy didn't go down. Unemployment didn't, go up, whatever. No, because that's what the left wants you to believe. They're the biggest prostitutes of doom and gloom that you'll ever meet. Now, I bring this up just because to tell you it's another sky is falling moment. And look, as we go through the broadcast, as I said earlier, we got a ton to talk about. We're going to talk about illegals. We're going to talk about Obama-era scandals. We're going to talk about McCabe's testimony, the fugitive slave bill, and other things that have come up over, and most of it has to do with this crazy thing that the left loves to do, which is to get people all charged up over nothing. And I want to ask you, are you done with it? When you hear doom and gloom, what are your thoughts? So if you start to not listen as much, ask yourself what the average person is starting to do. I'm not talking about a big amount of people, just a few.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.